Audio Jungle.
Goes over some of the reports that can be helpful in Opera, along with what information is included in them. So if we get started here, once you open up Opera and you're here on the home screen, all the reports that you'll pull will fall under miscellaneous reports. Now, a report that I typically run every day is the reservations on and by creation date. So when you type in the percentage sign and go to on and by, it's going to give you this one, reservations entered on and by. And I'll always change it to the day before. This report I typically run first thing in the morning. And down here under sort order and group by, you want to do arrival date. That way it's going to list all reservations based upon when they're actually coming in. Now if we preview this and look at it, you can see that it's going to give you all the reservations that were booked by arrival date through the whole future until the last one that was made. And the information that's included in this is very helpful, as it gives you the guest name, along with their arrival date and departure date, and their rate code that they booked under, along with the channel that it came from. The reason why this is all so helpful is when you're managing rates every day, it can become quite a lot to remember every rate that should be open or closed. And by reviewing these rates, you can better manage and understand what channels are selling, along with seeing. So overall, it's just a helpful report in order to really understand what's going on and what people are starting to book, and it can just give you a better grasp on all the channels that are running. So that's one of the main reports that I typically run every day as a revenue manager on site. And another helpful report is the history and forecast report. This report is a little similar to the business on books report, if you're familiar with that. If not, I'll be pulling up that report as well, as I find it to be important. The difference, though, with history and forecast is you can go back in time. So let's say that I want to go back to the beginning of this month and have it to the end of this month. You can set different settings here if you feel it's important, but I typically just run it the way it's set up by default. And you'll see that this lists out the total occupied rooms for the day, the arrival rooms, the comp rooms, house use rooms, individual and group rooms. Then it gives you your total room revenue, your average rate, what was out of order, and how many people were in house. This can be really helpful when looking at total revenue for the month, along with what's going to already be on the books, and if it's matching up with any revenue management software that you're already using that's pulling these reports from your PMS system. So that's really an important one that I would suggest running, as it just gives you a better feel as to a certain time period. And what's really helpful too is you can always run previous year reports this way, so you can kind of see, what's changing, what's the same, if it's increasing or decreasing over certain dates, and just kind of get an understanding as to the trends that are going on in the system. Now, as mentioned, that report's actually really similar to the business on the books report, but you can't go backward in this. You can't go back in time. So as you can see, it automatically starts you on the day that you're currently on, and it typically goes a whole month forward. So I leave, again, all the settings the same, as it gives me the information I need by default. And as you can see, this is going to be pretty similar now. They do break up each month by pages. The Opera does this. So if we scroll down to the next month, you'll see that it also gives you the date, the individuals, the groups. But the difference in here is it'll also give you what's still on the books to pick up in the group section that's being held by blocks, and it also gives you the individual rate and the block rate and the total rate and the average. It's just, and along with what's projected. So say you're overbooked today, it'll over here in the projection column, it will actually give you watching out the overbookings and give you an estimated number as to where you're going to end. So this report can be really helpful with just going over future forecasting, budgeting, and everything like that, cash flow projects and accounting. Just gives you an idea as to what's on the books, what's sold out, what you have left to really sell as you're approaching certain months, and overall it can be really helpful. And now another report that I find to be helpful, if we delete out of the report column the business on the book search, and then you go to statistical. There's two main reports in here that I find to be very helpful. The first is the market code statistics report. What this report's going to pull is all your rate code categories, like say your L&R rates, and your OTA channels, your brand, and it's going to give you for the month, and it will also give you for up to the year what has actualized, what is processed. So that can really give you helpful information regarding what's producing and what's not, and give you better management over that and what channels you should really be pursuing. And the other one is this one here, the day, the month to date, and the year-to-date statistics. Now this one won't really be as important for everybody, but the whole reason I use this is really to run, here you can see room class. I'll pull reports for the suites and certain room types that we're running. There are times when we try different strategies to really push different room types compared to others in order to increase their sales as they run for a higher price. And it just gives me a better idea when pulling reports to see, for this certain month, did they produce more running this strategy than they did last year running the other strategy. So again, that's the day, month to date, year to date statistics. That's what the MTD year to date stands for. And I just find those two reports here to be really helpful. So again, this was just a short video to name some of the main reports that I run daily as a revenue manager, and also because I like to double check everything that's flowing through my PMS to my revenue management system. So I hope those were helpful. If you would have any other questions regarding reports, feel free to contact me directly through the website, as there are so many reports you can run through Opera and so much information you can pull. So if there's anything specific, just let me know, and I'll definitely help you out as best as I can.